struggle with your pole climbs? Today I'm going to show you my top 3 conditioning moves that will get your pole climb up the pole easily and elegantly. A big misconception about our climbs is that it's mostly upper body strength. If that's how you feel when you're doing your climbs, I'm going to have you stop thinking about it that way, and we're going to look at how it's actually put into your lower body and into your core. My first go-to exercise is going to be done at the pole. You can also use a door if you don't have access to a pole, which I do have a video on. So the first exercise is going to be pole squats. You can do this at a pole. You can also do this on a door, but I'm going to use my pole. We're going to put my tippy toes right at the base. Notice my toes are going to touch, my ankles are touching. I'm going to raise up high on my tippy toes, bend my knees, give my knees a nice squeeze in. From here, I'm going to wrap just my knees around the pole. From here, I'm going to find where they click in. Notice I'm not going to slide too high up my leg. Keep it out at the knee. From there, I'm going to bring my body up and find my balance, keeping my hands low around the pole. Take a nice shoulder reset where we pull those shoulders back and down away from the ears. Hands are low. From here, my knees stay in place, and I'm going to push my booty all the way down and then let it float all the way back up. You can challenge yourself by using one arm at a time while doing this. And we can also eventually try to do it with no hands. Ooh! The whole point of this is to use those quads and those adductors, those inner thigh muscles. When those are stronger, that's going to be your main propeller for getting up the pole. I recommend 10 to 20 of these every day if you can manage it. The next exercise is shoulder depressions. This one's very subtle. It's all about engaging the shoulders in the appropriate way. I'm going to stand next to my pole, give myself a little bit of distance. Take those shoulders down and back. Reach those arms up high without overextending in those shoulders. I'm going to put my tippy toes again very close to the base, up on my toes. From here, I'm going to think about pulling those shoulders down and pulling my heart space closer towards the pole, and then relaxing. Pulling those shoulders down and relaxing. You can add your feet with this if you'd like, but it's really just in the shoulders. Think about making your neck longer. It's very important that we're not using the elbows here. Climbing isn't about pulling as hard as we can with those arms. We're just staying anchored in those shoulders. Again, about 10 to 20 with the shoulders. You can switch hands about halfway through. This third exercise is going to be all about conditioning for that half bracket grip. Yes, you can climb the pole without utilizing the half bracket grip. However, in my opinion, it looks a little bit sloppy. It looks like you're struggling up the pole. And as we continue in our pole practice, we use the half bracket grip a lot. So I recommend learning it now and implementing it in our climb. The half bracket grip is where one arm is down at the lower part of the pole, keeping those shoulders down. I've got my hand on one side, my elbow just on the other side of the pole, and I'm pushing away as much as possible. My other arm is going to be just up top. This conditioning is going to be from the floor. You're going to find that forearm position. The difference is, rather than keeping my elbows totally under my shoulders, which is usually what you do for this plank position, I'm going to bring either one elbow or two elbows slightly in at a time. I want to create as much space between my chest and the floor, and most importantly, I want to tuck my hips under. So I'll set it up, find my triangle with my arms. I'm going to bring them in a little bit closer, create as much space as possible, pushing away from the mat. Find my plank. Make sure that booty isn't up. I'm going to think about tucking that tailbone all the way under and creating as much space. From here, I'm going to take one leg at a time, pull it in towards my chest as tight as I can, and extend it back out. About 10 on each leg as I do this. This is going to get me used to stabilizing my body away from the pole, giving myself room to shimmy up those legs. And this one is going to be a bonus conditioning. It's really about understanding placement of our body before we start to climb up the pole. A lot of times we're just eager to do whatever we can to get up. We want to start with our placement first. How I'm going to do that is I'll start by bending one knee. If you can look in at your knee, you'll find your knee crack and then your knee joint. There's a little valley right there. That's the ideal point that you want to put up against the pole. Knees just in front, thigh is behind. I want to find as much skin contact as possible. I'm going to push my shin against the pole, start by pointing my toe, and then try to gently wrap my foot. If I go for too much of a flex, I'm going to lose some of that skin contact. Every millimeter is beneficial for this. So I'm going to find that placement. Same arm up high, shoulders down, belly back. Create this space between your pole and belly. My other arm is going to be a little bit lower. Now, rather than pulling up, I'm going to allow my hips to totally sink down before I pick up my other leg. Look at your knees. Make sure they are exactly side by side. 1 foot in front, 1 foot in back. Shoulders pulled down, and you're just going to let yourself relax into this shape. See how long you can hold this. I'm going to see if I can do it for 30 seconds. After you've done that, if you're feeling sassy, now let's take it up. Straighten the legs, bottom arm or top arm into the elbow, bottom arm goes up. From here, it's that bracket grip. Shimmy those knees up, squeeze. Again, stand up, squeezing those knees, elbow, arm, belly back. Another big point, it's tempting to want to look up at the sky and look at where we want to go, but that's going to push my hips back, which makes it a lot harder to get my knees up. Keep your head in neutral, keep it rounded in the pelvis, and there's your pole climb. Mwah! One other thing that's really important to remember is not to let the pole slide up the thigh. Keep it at that distal part of the thigh, right in the knee nubbin. You're going to feel that. If you take both of your knees and kind of slide forward and back, you're going to feel where that locks in, and that's where you want to stay. As soon as it starts to slide up your thigh, you're going to lose all sort of grip, and you're going to end up on the floor. So I hope you enjoyed these tips. Please give them a shot. Best of luck with climbing. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.